So if you're looking to buy a phone for around 20,000 rupees, there are two new offerings. The iQOO Z3 at 20,000 INR, and then you have the OnePlus Nord CE, which again starts at 23,000 rupees. Funny, it just starts. So there's a clear difference of 3,000 INR. Is the OnePlus Nord CE worth the 3,000 rupees? And if you have the budget of around 20,000, should you buy the iQOO Z3 or the Nord CE? Well, this is Prateek, you're already watching TechWiser, and this is the comparison of iQOO Z3 and the OnePlus Nord CE. Let's go. Now on paper, these are the specs differences between OnePlus Nord CE and iQOO Z3. As you can see, iQOO is better in terms of processor, charging and 5G bands, whereas Nord CE has better AMOLED display. We also did some tests like Geekbench, read-write test, CPU throttle test, and iQOO is marginally better in all of them. But here's the thing, you don't buy phones based on spec sheet. If that was possible, you won't be watching this video. So rather, you buy it for the experience. So let's clear the confusion and talk about the day-to-day experience of using the Nord CE and the iQOO Z3. Starting with experience of holding the phones in the hand. See, both the devices have the same plastic build and similar dimensions. Nord feels a bit premium and slightly lighter, but more or less both feel similar in hand. One experience I would like to add is the Nord has on-display fingerprint scanner, which is slightly slower and positioned lower, so you might have a problem at the start every time you unlock it. iQOO, on the other hand, has a side-mounted fingerprint scanner, which is fast. As you can see, side by side, the iQOO Z3 unlocks faster. Now, the major difference comes when you talk about the displays. The Nord CE comes with a 6.43-inch 90Hz AMOLED display, and the iQOO Z3 comes with a 6.58-inch 120Hz LCD display. So you know, AMOLED is better than LCD, and we all love AMOLED, agreed. But the question here is the iQOO display really that bad? Well, watch this carefully. Here, if you see the colors of this video side by side, there is a difference and AMOLED looks more vibrant and colorful. Now, of course, you can tweak the iQOO display in the settings to make it more colorful and bright, but there will still be a difference. Like, if you take the displays outside, to my eyes, both the displays look equally bright, but suppose you're reading an article outside. If you see them from an angle, the Nord CE has better viewing angles due to AMOLED. So the display on iQOO Z3 isn't bad, it's average, but the Nord CE is just better. Also, iQOO has slight advantage when it comes to refresh rate. The Z3 has 120Hz refresh rate while the Nord has 90. So you'll get slightly better gaming experience on iQOO Z3. And about the water drop or teardrop notch, whatever they are calling it nowadays, well, it looks a bit old. They should have went with a punch hole display, but once you start using it after a week or so, you get used to it. So the Nord CE has better display, better build, but things really change when we talk about the performance. The iQOO Z3 comes with Snapdragon 768G UFS 2.2 storage and 6GB LPDDR4X RAM. The Nord CE comes with Snapdragon 750G UFS 2.1 storage and again 6GB LPDDR4X RAM. The CPU is slightly better on the iQOO Z3, and the first example you can see is the PUBG or Battleground Mobile India game, BGMI. iQOO Z3 can play ultra frame rates and HDR settings, whereas in Nord CE it's locked, high frame rate and HD settings. In simple words, iQOO Z3 can play BGMI at 60 FPS on smooth graphics and 40 FPS in HDR settings, whereas the Nord CE can only play at 30 FPS and HD settings. So we played PUBG or BGMI for 1 hour on both the devices. As you can see the temperatures, the iQOO Z3 has a 1 to 2 degree lower temperature, but that is due to a 6-layer graphite cooling in the device. Then again, I let both the devices cool down and then did a CPU throttling test. The OnePlus Nord CE throttles after 10 minutes. And we did it about 5 to 6 times at different temperature, different times of the day, and the Nord throttles about 3 out of 5 times. Now, if you say the room temperature might be hot, but it's the same for iQOO Z3 as well. Anyways, if you play for long hours, the iQOO Z3 is a much better device. And the story is the same in terms of camera performance as well. iQOO Z3 takes better pictures than Nord CE. The iQOO Z3 comes with a 64 megapixel Samsung GW3 sensor, whereas the Nord CE comes with a 64 megapixel OmniVision sensor. Now, under normal lighting conditions, both photos look good. Nord CE pulls in more details in the shadow, it's slightly brighter. On the other hand, the iQOO Z3 is more vibrant and contrasty. You can straight away upload this picture to Instagram. However, things get different when you shoot human photos or selfies. The OnePlus Nord CE repeatedly produces weird skin tones, and at times it just overexposes the subject, as you can see on my forehead and cheeks. Same is the case with front camera videos. Both of them don't have OIS. The iQOO Z3 can shoot 4K 60 FPS, whereas the Nord CE can shoot only 4K 30 FPS. Overall, in simple words, when it comes to camera performance, iQOO Z3 is much better than Nord CE. I think OnePlus should start working on the camera software, especially in the Nord series. But there's one region where the Nord CE is better than all the mid-range phones, and it's ad-free Oxygen OS. Nord CE runs Oxygen OS and iQOO Z3 runs FunTouch OS. Both of them come with Android 11 right out of the box. Now we all know Oxygen OS is free with ads and bloatware. That's the same with Nord CE as well. No ads, no unnecessary bloatware. But there's not a lot of information about iQOO or Vivo's FunTouch OS. So let's talk about that a little. FunTouch OS still has a long way to go, but it has improved a lot over past 2 years. Now if you see, it looks more like stock Android. You swipe up for the app drawer, the notification tray comes from the top, it's much cleaner now. You can swipe left for the Google News feed, which I really love. Also, when you download apps from the Play Store, it doesn't show you scanning or ads like you get in MIUI. So this is what you get on FunTouch OS right out of the box. But yeah, there are unnecessary apps like Moj, Hot Games, Hot Apps, which you can uninstall or disable. Also, I've heard a lot of you guys asking about privacy policies in FunTouch OS. Now, quick tip, you can go to global search on settings and withdraw your consent. This will disable their Jovi global search and all of that. Next, if you don't use Vivo apps, you don't agree to their policies by default. So if I put all of this in simple words, OnePlus Oxygen OS was on top few years back, but now Oxygen OS has gotten down after the update issues. On the other hand, FunTouch OS has gotten better over time. For example, both iQOO and OnePlus are offering 2 years of Android updates and 3 years of security updates. So far, Nord has a better display and software, but the iQOO Z3 has better performance and camera. And the story is the same with battery and charging as well. Both iQOO Z3 and Nord CE have similar battery. However, iQOO Z3 comes with 55 watt charging, which is almost the double of 30 watt that you get with Nord CE. But both are equally at this point. In terms of network, both phones are 5G. The Z3 supports 2 5G bands, N77, N78. Nord CE supports 1 5G band, N78. Both of them support 4G carrier aggregation. I tested this with my Jio SIM. Surprisingly, Nord CE can get 4G plus inside my house, whereas iQOO Z3 couldn't. The 4G plus reception on iQOO Z3 is not that great. I do get 4G plus outside my house, but not inside. And if you guys do call recording, the Z3 can record calls without informing the other person, whereas Nord CE has Google Dialer. So whenever you press record, the other person will hear this announcement.
This call is now being recorded.
And in my opinion, the final reason why OnePlus is charging 3,000 more than the iQOO Z3 is ad-free Oxygen OS. But do you think these 3,000 extra is justified for Oxygen OS? If you ask me, Nord CE is not a bad phone, but the pricing is not right. If you want an AMOLED display and Oxygen OS, Nord CE is a good choice. Do note that you would mostly have to buy it for 25,000 rupees. On the other hand, if you want a good camera, a better performing gaming phone, faster charging, and small features such as more 5G bands, no announcement in call recording, etc., iQOO Z3 is the choice for you. Either way, both are good choices. iQOO Z3 is a more value for money. So I've tried to make the comparison clear and helpful for you guys. I hope this video clears all your doubts and I get a like in return. Again, let me know if you want to see a long-term review of the OnePlus Nord CE. By the way, we are thinking of doing a giveaway. Let us know which products you want in the comments below, and if there are enough responses, we'll consider it in our next video, or of course, SNL, Saturday Night Live, 9 PM. On that note, this is Pradeep from TechWiser. See you soon.